Peace. Good day. Welcome to the broadcast. Today, we have a roundtable of individuals here to discuss different points of views within our social or society. My name is Rakim Allah. I'm with the Nation of Gods and Earths, where many of you may know it as the 5% Nation of Islam or 5% Nation of Gods and Earths, but today we call it the Nation of Gods and Earths. We will do our best to present different views about what the nation is all about, how it was founded, and some aspects of the individuals who are in the Nation of Gods and Earths. Also, I am a board member of the Oasis Youth Center, which comes out of the African Poetry Theater. And with that said, I would like to introduce some of our guests, which I have here, and I will let them introduce themselves. And we have here, to my left.
Peace. My name is Jada Kanika Earth. I am from Brooklyn, otherwise known as Medina. I do belong to the Community Economic Development Center, which is run by myself and my God, Almighty Prince Allah Savior. And there we hold classes every Friday and every Saturday for the children. On Saturdays we have computer classes, we have painting, and we have teaching them double-edged arts and crafts and everything else of that nature. And on Fridays we also hold classes for members of the Gods and Earths, where we get together and build and discuss our views on different things within our lessons. And we learn from each other. Peace.
And next we have...
Peace. My name is Yakil Allah. I'm from the desert, better known as the Oasis right now. I'm a member of the Oasis Youth Center. I'm also chairman of Allah Youth Center. I'm a builder in this nation of Gods and Earths. Steve means to understand, Akil means wise and intelligent, okay? So when you put the two together, what it actually comes out to be, which is God. You got to understand that I am wise and intelligent. That's why we have Allah at the end of our name. It's also like a surname or family name. So, peace.
Next we will have...
Peace. My name is Bine Khan Allah. I'm originally from Medina, but I've been resting out here in Oasis now for some years. I'm a member also of the Oasis Youth Center. I had knowledge of myself for over 20 years. And we out here as a nation to uplift ourselves as well as teach others the knowledge of themselves so they can enhance themselves and live a prosperous life, and build and do things, according to the laws of mathematics in which we deal with, which is, today's mathematics, which is wisdom, knowledge, all being born understanding. And wisdom is a manifestation of knowledge of what you know. Wisdom is also the verbal vehicle in which we use to express ourselves. Knowledge is the foundation. It means to know, look, listen, and observe. Understanding is something that gives you comprehension, but also gives you the opportunity to see things beyond just the physical sight of your eyes, but within the mind, which deals with a form of intellect and intelligence. Peace.
And next we have, to my right...
Peace. My name is Ebony Joy, Asiatic Earth. Ebony means the original state of everything in existence. Joy is the expression of happiness, which is the 12th jewel of Islam. Asiatic is the name of the people who originate from Asia, which is the planet Earth, and what the planet Earth was called when the 7 continents were combined as one, before the continental drift of Asia split them into 7. And Earth is who I am as a person, meaning that I revolve around the black man as the planet Earth revolves around the sun and reflect his knowledge through my wisdom. I have had knowledge of self for 4 years, and I come from Chicago, also known as Sea God. Peace.
Peace.
And next we have, to my right...
I'm a law of relativity. I'm from the desert, which is known as Queens. I had knowledge of self for going on 19 years. A law of relativity means a law is God, one that's divine, with intellect and maturity, diplomacy, and divine. Relativity means it shows the relationship of all things in existence being one. Peace.
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 Peace. With that said, we would just like to continue on with some brief discussion about what the nation is all about and some experiences that the individuals here have had with the nation and different aspects of how they activate within society. And basically, it is about teaching. This is one of our main duties. One of our main duties is to teach all human families of the planet Earth. Within our society, we have different people of different religions, different cultures, different backgrounds. And you may even have people who are atheists, who do not believe in God. But yet, within a society, sometimes people who have no belief in God seem to get more respect amongst people who do believe in God, as opposed to individuals who have a belief in God or a basic understanding of who God is. There seems to be some type of clash. So we're basically trying to clear up some of the misconceptions that people may have about who and what God is and the manifestation of God. And we have individuals here who will continue that discussion, and I would just like to pass it on to anyone who would like to elaborate on that.
Well, I feel that we as a society or organization of people, nation of gods and earth, we strive for upliftment within our community, our personal communities, and we try to collectively, you know, join together to strengthen our people as a whole. And not to go into any religious context, because we're a culture, and we're not a religion. Not to say we have anything against religion, we just not a religion.
So we are not a religion in the basic aspect, but we have a culture which gives us the ability to live as civilized people and the ability to communicate and work within a society. This culture of ours helps us maintain a certain structure within a society, meaning that we have laws against robbing and stealing and hurting people, but we also believe in justice. We also believe in an eye for an eye. So we have basic concepts of what we believe in our culture, of our God. Our culture being that we see God within us. And this is why we take on the name of Allah within our names. And I would just like anybody else to jump in and give their elaboration on that.
Well, in relationship, I ain't got it. Yeah, I'm all right.
Bill.
Relationship to that, I think it's important that we talk about who God is.
Right.
You know, God is the black man.
That's right.
You know, as opposed to, you know, the earth is the black woman. Is dealing with the woman. And like the earth previously said, the earth rotates around the sun. And the sun being the focus, the primary entity within the solar system, which everything revolves around. All right, that's the same thing with black men. And when you look at the community, what has happened was that we were demasculated. You know, we were put down, and now you know, they kind of like reversed, you know, the playing field.
Right.
You have like, what is it? You have the society where you have men who don't take care of their children. But we train that way. You know, from birth, like in school, we're taught not to speak up and speak out and be proud. Like back in the 60s, they had the proud to be black, you know, and things of that nature. Around the same time when Allah came and he started teaching the first non-born, this is the law right here. You know, he came out in 1964, started building after he was originally in the Nation of Islam in the mosque. But he came out, he left the mosque, and he came out and he taught the first 9, and he started teaching the youth, because that's what he felt that he had to concentrate on. The children weren't being concentrated on, and that's what we concentrate on. We concentrate on teaching the children. And at the same time, not through just words, but through actions. You know, and that's one of the things that's happening today is that, you know, we have a lot of leaders that just talk a lot. You know, they don't get action. We're not just about talking. You know, we have youth centers out there. We're doing positive things.
That's right.
Like in Oasis, which is actually in the African Poetry Theater, like you said.
Which is Queens.
Yes, in Queens. 17603 Jamaica Avenue. We have parliaments once a month, which is on the first Sunday of every month. At the African Poetry Theater. Then
from 2 to 6.
From 2 to 6, thank you, God. Then we also have civilization classes from 7:30 to 9:30 on Thursdays, also at the African Poetry Theater. You know, we're doing a lot of different things. Like this month, well, I think it's next month. Next month, the Earth in the Oasis Youth Center, they're actually having a food and clothing drive. Okay. So if anybody's interested, they can call the African Poetry Theater or possibly come to one of our events, things that we throw. We also have the Universal Parliament, whereas it's open to everyone. The public, anybody can come here if they want to just get a general concept of what we're about, what we teach, and things of that nature. See, we're civilized people. We don't shun anyone. You know, whether we have different religions or different cultures, different ways of life, you know, we teach all the human families of the planet Earth. It doesn't matter about us being different because, you know, we have a oneness. We're here together.
Okay.
You know, but a lot of times we get, you know, secular. We start dividing ourselves. Be like, oh, I don't deal with this person or that person. I don't care, because I'm gonna be God.
Right.
God is within me. See, what we got to do is find a common ground, and when we have a common ground, then that's when we actually could come amongst each other and actually do something, build the community.
Okay.
Okay. Now with mathematics, which is we have 9 principles
Right, exactly.
plus cipher, and the cipher is not, that's a principle. I should say 10 principles, but we have like 9 numbers. It
Right,
goes from
exactly.
knowledge to born.
That's right, God. You right.
All right. You know, you have a lot of people out there who wants to say that they 5%ers, quote unquote, or say that they God, but they don't live it out. But see, it's not about what you say, it's a lot about what you do. Because you have a lot of children looking up to you. Whether or not you know it or like it, you have a lot of children looking up to you. You know, I have kids.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
True.
but pretty much all the kids that come around me, I'm responsible for.
Okay.
You know, God Relativity has kids, you know, and we all sit up there, and it's like when they come around, I'm going to be like their father when their father's not here.
That's right.
So it's my responsibility to take care of them too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I have a black woman, you know, I teach her, and we know we're together. She's not behind me, she's beside me, because she's to help me. You know, we help each other. Like, I go through certain things, and as an individual, when you get someone else in like a relationship, and you put them right next beside you, then you're gonna grow that much more. Now, without them, you're gonna be at a certain limitation. You know,
Okay.
but when you get into a relationship, you start learning a lot more things about yourself, because you learn how to deal with, you know, another aspect of yourself. You don't just deal with just, you know, oh,
Right.
I'm concerned about me, about getting jiggy, about doing certain things. It's not about that.
Right.
You know, we go the 5% or Nation of God's Nurse, we go through all aspects of life. We in the street, we build in the street. You know, we have classes, we have a school, which is at 2122 7th Avenue. We have youth centers, like I said earlier. You know, I'm a member of a law youth center as well. You know, I'm a chairman of that board at a law youth center. And what we do there is an outreach service, and we teach, you know, the children. Have computer classes, we have civilization classes, we do a whole lot of things.
Right.
You know, I'm going back to the principle of what we are, you know, the black man being God, that's what we teach. That's the perspective in which we come from. You know, I'm not trying to put nobody down, because we don't put people down.
But I think we should get more into the philosophy of why we came to this theoretical term of the black man being God. You know, there may be some people who question, like, where do we come to this theory? Did we just nominate ourselves God, or was there a thorough investigation or research?
To the
that-
conclusion.
Right, that
Yeah,
brought us
come
to that
the
conclusion.
Indeed so.
So what you're saying basically is, you know, in the early years of the Nation of Gods and Earths, many people were deterred or turned away because of that calling ourselves God, or saying that God existed within us.
No, I'm saying more like we need to explain
Right.
where did we grasp this philosophy?
Get
Where did
this-
the father
where did we grasp?
What the father? Where did he get this philosophy from before he embedded it into us?
Right. Where did he get this philosophy of the black man being God?
Right.
Where did he come about this? And how does it conflict with the general society?
No, we're not talking
Okay,
about conflict.
trying to do that. Can you elaborate on that, God?
Yeah.
Or maybe I should elaborate on that when I quote who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe.
Right, but it's still left to
It's
speculation.
True.
I mean, the point I was trying to get at is the point of, you know, the black man been in existence for trillions and trillions of years, and we know that we have an infinite lifespan.
True.
You know, that life never ceases. Life begets life. Life never terminates, has no beginning nor ending. And we know that the Caucasian man is only 6,087 years old. So we know that something that has a beginning has an ending.
True.
So I mean, these are theoretical points that brought us to the conclusion that the black man is God from our infinite lifespan and the trials and tribulation and how we took society and the world on our shoulders.
So we talk about who is that mystery God? There is no
Well-
mystery God. Son of Man has searched for that mystery God for trillions of years, was unable to find the so-called mystery God. So we all agreed that the only God was the Son of Man, and lost no more time searching for that which does not exist.
Yes, 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 God. You know, I mean, just to, you know, to elaborate on that to y'all out there, you know, on, you know, as the decree was spoken, as the God manifested decree to y'all, it's talking about the black man being a father of civilization. I mean, that alone, when you hear that, that alone, some of you, I'm quite sure, who are out there who study and you read history and you're going to Egyptology and you know, you're going to a lot of these, you know, historians and these brothers who have showed and proved that the black man was here first. So just within that alone, you know, it should make you look and say to yourself, okay, if we was the first one here, then where did these other people come from?
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they didn't come out of the just pop up, you know what I'm saying, out of the clear blue sky, so that alone. See, so the term God that is used, the term God that you're here being used, you're taking as something, it's being taken, you know, because we all come from out of that same state a lot of our brothers and sisters came from out of. We got parents, you know, who kind of, you may disagree with what we saying, but they understand what we're about because they see the positivity in it and how we carry ourselves. So, you know, when they hear God, that kind of shun, you know, a lot of, you know, brothers and sisters away because they, you know, is thinking of something that is, oh, supernatural. No, it's only talking about a supreme being. We don't understand that the black man and the black woman, we are supreme. We are the first here on this earth. You know, and this is what we teach. We are the makers. We are the owners because, you know, every time something is built, you know, it's us. You know, every time somebody's digging somewhere around on the planet Earth, they digging up us. So, you know, that and alone, God, you know, that shows and proves the black man is the father of civilization. Sure. Peace.
Peace. Just to get back to what Siakil was building about as far as teaching the babies, because the babies are indeed the best part. And one thing that we do stress teaching the babies is the knowledge of themselves and the history and where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, when every time they want to figure out something about history, they go back to the source, which is back to Egypt, back to Africa, back to the original people, because original only means the source of, or the first having been here. So to say that the original black man is God, see, a lot of times the misconception is when people use the term God, they apply a lot of religious connotations to it. They believe that because you say you God, you have to be able to walk through a wall. Or because you say you God, you're supposed to wink your eyes, suddenly it starts to thunder, and everything else like that. And I think that's a major misconception that people have, why they get shunned away, why they turn their heads when they say the black man is God. And I think what you did was to define who God is or what God is, and not to think that God is a person or a spook, rather, because it is God is a person. That God is a spook that, you know, can perform all these different things that you can't do. At least I can, if I say, you know, you're God, I can see you. But you know, most people believe in that God is somebody they can't see when they die. And of course, after they die, they can't come back and tell us, well, you know, everything they read about that spooky stuff is true. Obviously, they cannot do that. So that's exactly what we teach in the basics. We're teaching them the history. When you go to school, they don't teach you about yourself in school. They don't teach you the truth about what happens in school. And it really is a shame. For instance, a lot of things I'm learning now that I've been in the Nation of Gods and Earth, which I just made 1 year January 2nd.
That's peace.
A lot of things that I'm learning now that I'm in the Nation of Gods and Earth that I did not know. And I mean, even when you try to tell people, try to teach them, their ways have been embedded in them so hard that like they just don't even want to hear. Even when it comes to different holidays and what they mean and what they signify. I mean, you try to let people know that, okay, Thanksgiving ain't what it seems to be. You know what I mean? But it's really hard to put it out there because we have been trained. You know what I mean? We have been taught from the time we were babies to the point now. It's really hard to turn our eyes over to see the truth.
But you brought up an interesting point, though. You actually, you know, said what the nation has given you. And, you know, I want to add on to that. You know, the nation has given me the awakening of my third eye, where I can actually analyze things in a different sense. You know, I don't take things on face value where you know, someone just propagate that Christmas represents the birth of Christ. And, you know, I get analytical when I find out that, you know, Jesus wasn't exactly born on that day. So, you know, in texts like that, you know, the nation has been very beneficiary.
I would like to add on to that also. Basically, you know, when I was young and, you know, celebrating all these holidays, the Christmas and New Year's and the Thanksgiving and the turkey and everything like that, once I started finding out, you know, what these holidays were all about and how these holidays were embedded into us since we were babies, and, you know, come to find out that some of these holidays weren't real or based on lies, even, you know, Christmas, which is supposed to be the birth of Christ, coming to find out that some of these holidays had a lot of misgivings about them, I tend to open my third eye and see that, you know, everything that's presented before you within a society is not what it seems to be. And you really have to do search and research and find out what these different holidays are about and how economically these holidays are beneficial to some people but unbeneficial to others. Some people gain from having children not know these holidays. Halloween, you know, some people benefit from that. So basically what you know, I'm trying to say is that,
It's
you know,
commercialized.
it's commercialized. It's basically commercialized because you get people becoming rich. You know, people get rich off these holidays, and they know the truth about these holidays. They know what these holidays are all about, but they'll keep you in the dark about them. They'll keep you in the dark as long as you keep supporting these holidays and supporting these different lies. They'll keep you in the dark as long as their pockets are filled. But secretly, they know what it's all about. And this nation has been very, very beneficial to me. I mean, without this nation civilizing me and putting righteousness within me, you know, awakening to the God within me, you know, Allah within me, I probably would have been in jail somewhere. You know, even when I, you know, joined different institutions or whatever, you know, this nation has always benefited me with the knowledge that it has presented me with. So.
You know, it's funny that you say that because it's like the nation enabled you to look within yourself,
True as that.
which was already there.
Right.
You had it within you.
True.
You know, and it's not like, you know, anyone gives you that right to say that you're a God or anything like that. That's a self-awareness. That's when you
True
come
as that.
into, yo, this is who I am and this is what I'm about. So then when you start looking within yourself, looking internally, that's when you come into that realization. You know, and what you were saying that as far as people, things being commercialized, and true indeed, I agree with that because that's, you know, the teachers of a 10%er.
Right, right.
You know, rich slave makers of the poor.
Right,
Teach
right.
the poor lies, to believe that the almighty true and living God is a spook. It cannot be seen by the physical eye. You know, and the things of that particular nature, you know, we have to overcome those things.
Right.
You know, because a lot of times, the majority of us, we see, you know, we don't want to see the truth.
Right.
Okay? You look at it, you might get a little sprinkling and you be like, oh, wow, that's not really true. Or, you know, let's take, for instance, you know, we just came out of a holiday which is dealing with Christmas. I don't really want to harp on it, but we just came out of a holiday dealing
Right.
with Christmas. You know, and, you know, people start getting away from the religious things and start just looking at towards getting the gifts.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and then you have to teach your children, you know, what is it about Christmas that you're supposed to do? You know, why do we celebrate Christmas? And a lot of times, you know, our community, we've gotten away from that.
From the religious text of it.
But from the religious text, but see, there's also like there's a positive purpose in it too, like Thanksgiving.
The true
Thanksgiving
meaning.
is positive because what's positive about that is that you come amongst your family.
Family, that's
and then
right.
you have an opportunity to make knowledge born, which is to speak what you know, your point of
True,
view and
true.
how you see certain things. Now I understand, like, you know, the turkey and all that other stuff, because there's certain they symbolize certain things that we might not agree with. And I'm not saying, oh, we celebrate Thanksgiving or, you know, that's what we do or anything of that nature. Only thing I'm saying is that, you know, you have a lot of things that's out there, and what you do, you take a negative and make it into a positive.
Positive, that's
I'm
right.
not saying, you know, take everything negative. Somebody be like, yo, you know, nigga. You look at the word
Yeah.
nigga, and then now you got a lot of people walking around, yo, what up, my nigga? Or saying things of
Right.
that particular nature. And they be like, well, nigga is not negative. It's something positive because that's the affection or love that I show for my brother. I call him a nigga. Come on, bro.
Right.
You know where it came
That's
from.
right. You know.
It was rooted in
That's
devilish
right.
things.
It was rooted in
You know,
evil.
and you know, so we start. That's Farrakhan called that deceptive intelligence. I
Right.
believe in 1996 at the Savior's Day, he had that coin of phrase. He was like, when you know something ain't right, but you start convincing yourself, you start trying to apply certain types of truth to it, and you start throwing certain things in it, and you're like, okay, then you start deceiving yourself
Right.
to think that, yo, this is actual fact.
Because you don't want to let it go.
Exactly.
You don't want to let it go. A lot of times you've been so brainwashed by certain aspects of what's being presented before you, you know, you still don't want to let it go. You become accustomed to it. So once you become accustomed to something, sometimes it's so difficult for you to break free from it, especially when we talk about, like the Bugard was saying, about the holidays. And, you know, Thanksgiving could be a positive thing when, you know, you have all your family come together. But when you try to tell somebody the real meaning of what it was all about and how it was the destruction of the indigenous Americans, which many people know as the Indians, how it was so destructive towards their culture. You know, a lot of people, they don't know about that. They don't know about how the Indians had, you know, stores, and how the Indians had a whole economic system, how the Indians had real, you know, roadways going from one town to the other, how the Indians had, you know, all these economic backings.
Some people don't even know that the Indians are original people.
That's right. They don't know that the Indians were black people. They don't even understand that. And they don't understand how, the settling of North America was such a destructive impact upon the indigenous Americans, and how, as soon as the settlers came here, half the population, which was millions and millions of people, just died off, just from the air, just from the germs that, they were so foreign to the Indians were so foreign to those germs. And how most Indians, when the people came over from overseas, the Indians, they didn't even know what a lie was. It was beyond their comprehension. There was no word in the Indian language for lie, because that type of wickedness didn't even exist within their culture. So there was no thing for lying. That was so foreign to them. So when they came over here to North America and they lied to the Indians, it was very easy for them to deceive the indigenous people. So this is what we teach when we talk about civilization classes and when we talk about rallies. When we talk about the nation of gods and earths, we teach that this is for the benefit or the betterment of self. We teach that this is to enlighten you, to make you a better person, to make you free of that which has been deceiving you for so long. A lot of people, they don't realize that when the Africans first came here to North America, the religion wasn't Christianity at all, period. But now you have most of the people who celebrate Christianity. And we respect all forms of organized religion, whether you be Hindu, whether you be Muslim, or whether you be Christian, or whatever your religion is. We respect, as a nation of God's and earth, God, we respect all people.
Indeed.
We respect all people regardless of whatever their religion is. But, and you can't get respect unless you give respect. So when we say that we the nation of gods and earths, and we put that name God upon within our nation, a lot of people tend to shun or turn their head. We saying, look, we understand what you're about. Just try to have some understanding what we're about. With that in mind, time is running short. My name is Rakim Allah. Thank you for watching. Peace. In the name of Allah. Peace.
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 Peace.